first thing you need to do is cut your potato in half. So you have two halves to work with. One I have already carved out, and the other one I have not. The first one is kind of like a butterfly type of thing. And how I did this was first I drew like kind of the outline of my butterfly. Just the basic shape. I know the body is going to be here. It's the edge of the wing up here. Maybe a little indent on both sides. I don't want to get too detailed because I'm going to use some different tools for the details later. I also know that I want there to be a head of the butterfly, so I don't want to carve that out, and the little antenna will be up here. Anything I push down will not print. Any potato left will print. So once I get the basic drawing mapped out, then I'll move on to carving away what's around the outside. So the extra stuff that I really know I don't need, I can use a paper clip and I can take away anything I don't want. On the very outside. Now, paper clips are very dull. So honestly, a small paring knife works a little bit better, but I'm not endorsing that because of safety reasons. So now I'm using my pencil to dig down a little further and make that carving more crisp so the lines are good. This potato, as with most, is kind of juicy. So as I'm carving, I want to use a paper towel, just kind of dry up those spots. I can do a lot of carving with a pencil. I can make designs, scratch into the potato. Make sure to fully remove anything I scratch out. I can also make dots by punching my pencil in. And then when you're done with the carving, you can move on to how to print. So I have one that's been carved out already, and I've printed with it, so it still has a little bit of ink left on it. This one though, I've kept it nice and dry, and the layers have been carved out, so you can see like we're going to get a stamp out of what has been raised and what has been taken out. After you've carved out the outside and used your pencil and poked designs and done all the carving that you want to, and you want to test it out and do a practice print, you're going to get a brush and some paint, whatever you have available. Normally we'd use like a printmaking ink, but in this circumstance, we can just use some paint, craft paint, acrylic paint, tempera paint, whatever you have. I'm going to use my brush, put a little paint on the brush, and instead of going up and down, I'm going to go flat and try to lay the paint on top of the stamp that I've made. Looks like I don't have quite enough. Go back and get a little more paint. Laying my brush nice and flat. My paint's starting to dry out a little bit because I've had it exposed to air for probably too long. If you have a pretty detailed carving, you just want to be careful that you're paying attention to all those little details and making sure you get paint on every little part. Could have probably done with another layer, but we'll see how this works out. I've done this butterfly a few times already, and I've gotten some pretty nice prints out of it. Just gonna take a lightweight, like copy paper. There's more than one way to do this, but with a potato, we could just put it on something flat, make a stamp, and then it's very important that we flip it over and rub the back, being careful not to move the paper around because we don't want to smear it. But if you just stamp it and lift it up, you'll miss some of those nice details that you carved. I'll switch hands, hold the potato on the back side. It's important to get the edges. Oh, it moved. It's all right. I think I had most of the ink on. It looks pretty good. I could cover this whole thing with beautiful butterflies, like flying up the page. We're gonna make some artwork out of these potatoes.